Light meters. All right, we're going to look at a light meter and how it works on a camera to understand like shutter and aperture and how they mix together. So we looked at shutter and how to adjust it manually. I haven't gone through the mechanics of shutter yet, but we're going to get to that stage. For right now, let's look at a light meter. So here is my aperture button. In order to change aperture, I must go like this. So from now on, when I say I'm changing aperture, I'm really hitting this button and I'm really rotating this. Okay? Now, this is your light meter. I also have it on manual. Okay, manual. And that way I can adjust that. If it's not on manual, I cannot adjust it. Okay, clicking it, lightly clicking the shutter will bring this up, and now I can adjust the aperture. Now the aperture, you can think of the aperture as the iris of your eye. So when you walk into a dark room, your eye dilates because we can take in more light because there's an absence of light in the room. If I walk into a very bright room, my iris shuts, and then I can look longer in that area because of the fact that I have less light entering my eye. So the same goes here. If I walk into a dark situation and I want to take a shot, I have to open my aperture up. If I'm taking a shot outside at the sun or the clouds, I have to close that up. Same thing, same as the human eye. Now the tricky situation is when you think about hand holding a camera. So you're outside, you're in the field, and I know that if I change the shutter speed by dragging this across, I have 1/125th. Anything below that, I have to really watch myself because under that means I have to hold the camera very, very still or I'm going to get not a sharp image. So that means I have this at a negative, which means it's going to be too dark. So the only thing we can adjust here is the aperture. So by adjusting the aperture, you can see I cannot get to 0, and I need to get to 0. The only way to get to 0 is back off speed, and then finally I get 1/1/6. Now if I click this, you can hear how long the shutter is open. That's too long. I can never hold a camera that still. So right here, you can hear how fast the shutter is going. Very quickly. But the image is majorly dark. I can't get enough. So the light meter is really good in the aspect that we're allowed or able to see if the exposure is going to be too dark or too light. So we can adjust for aperture, ISO, and shutter speed. Okay? Now that you see the light meter and how it works and how it needs to be at 0, let's look at some practical application.